Alright, bro, for my first YouTube video ever, bro, we're gonna be answering the age-old question: who is the better player? Who is the GOAT? LeBron James or Michael Jordan? So now we're finna get into the stats. We're gonna start with LeBron James, right? Probably the second most well-known player of all time. I mean, right now, over his career, he's averaging 27 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists on 50, 30, 70 shooting. I mean, that's pretty crazy to me, because dude's what, 35, putting up 25 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists. And then you got Michael Jordan, who's, I ain't gonna tell you yet, but putting up 36 and 5 over his career on 50, 30, 80 shooting. His last season in the league was with the Wizards, but I don't count that shit. But he was still averaging 20, and he was like 40. His last season with the Bulls, he averaged 28, 8 and 6, which is pretty insane. I mean, we already know 6-0 versus LeBron, 3 and 6, which is it's a pretty big difference there. MJ's got 14 All-Stars, 3 Steal champions, 11 All-NBAs. He's All-Rookie Team, Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, 6 times Finals MVP, 3-time All-Star MVP, 9-time All-Defensive Team, 6-time NBA champ, 10-time scoring champ. Now, if we look at LeBron's accolades, he got 16 All-Stars, 16 All-NBA teams, 1 All-Rookie Team, 3 times Finals MVP, Rookie of the Year, 1 scoring champion, 3-time NBA champion, 6-time All-Defensive Team, 3-time All-Star MVP, and 4-time MVP. And before somebody tries to say Kobe's top 3, bro, Kobe's not even top 7, so let's cut that out of the debate. 3, my third best player of all time is Kareem, but you gotta appreciate greatness. Kobe's great, but definitely ain't no LeBron or MJ. Alright, bro, so my first point about who I think is better, I'm gonna come out and say I think MJ is better by quite a decent amount, actually. I think MJ is the greatest NBA player of all time, and then I would say LeBron's the greatest individual force the NBA's ever seen, but I just don't think he's as good as MJ was. Like, if you put MJ in LeBron's position over his career, MJ is going 8-0 or 9-0. I mean, I really don't think MJ is losing with all the talent that LeBron has had surrounding him. Besides maybe that year where he beat the Celtics in 7 with that dog shit team, but I mean, he was playing rookie Jason Tatum as his best competition. Before people try to say Jordan played, plumbers, shit like that, I think he played in a better era. I think it was a much tougher era. LeBron would not have been able to survive against those bad boy Pistons. I mean, he flops after everything. I just don't see that. MJ is a way better defensive player, like, by far. Jordan has 9 all-defensive teams, and LeBron only has 5. No steals titles for LeBron. MJ has 2. No defensive player of the years for LeBron. MJ has 1. He also won an MVP in the same year. LeBron also allows his opponents to increase their scoring averages in the finals by a long shot. I mean, LeBron has also led his team in turnovers multiple times. If it's in a close, like, and 1 minute left, who I want with the ball, I'm saying Jordan over LeBron. I mean, we just saw in that Lakers Heat game, LeBron didn't want to take that shot. He wanted to get bailed out, and then Danny Green choked, and we all know what happened next. People tend to make the debate that LeBron had no help coming into the league, even though he had Ilgauskas, who was an amazing big man. And even, you call him a role player if you want. I mean, he had Ben Wallace later down the stretch in Cleveland, who just may not have been putting up the statistical numbers still as he once was, but he was definitely still an amazing, superior defender. If we're talking about playoff game winners or ties with 25 seconds left, LeBron is 8 for 23, which is 35%, which is, I mean, that's really not that bad if you look into it. But Jordan's 10 for 19, which is 53%, which just outweighs that by a long shot. Finals game winners or ties with 25 seconds left is Jordan is 4 for 8, which is 50%, and LeBron's 0 for 6 in his career, which I think is a pretty big difference. I'm giving LeBron the edge in shooting because his three-point shooting has come to another level over the last couple years. I mean, back then in the 90s and 80s, three-point shooting wasn't much as a necessity as it is nowadays in the league. As you know, Michael Jordan is one of the greatest mid-range jump shooters of all time. I mean, the only person who really comes close nowadays is Kawhi, in my opinion. I mean, even if we look back in the day, LeBron got outscored by Jason Terry, who played way less minutes per game off the bench than LeBron did that whole game. Or how a second-year player in Kawhi Leonard outplayed LeBron, locked him up in 2014 Finals. LeBron also tends to disappear in the fourth quarter. I mean, the only really memorable Finals moment I can think about where he really showed up was that last minute, or the last 3 minutes against the Warriors in 2016, coming back from that 3-1, where he got that chase down on Iggy, and Kyrie hit the shot, which a lot of people tend to forget that LeBron got fouled the next play, got his 2 free throws and missed 1. I mean, everybody always likes to use that excuse, Jordan didn't go to the play, didn't get past the first round his first couple years. You gotta think, in 1986, he's playing the Celtics, who are one of the greatest teams of all time, arguably top 5 all-time team, who had, I think it was like 7 Hall of Famers, some shit crazy. I mean, Larry Bird, and he still put up 63 and averaged 47 points per game in that series. That's just crazy to me. If MJ's playing in LeBron's era, I'm sure he's making a super team, just like LeBron has for the last couple years. I mean, he probably could have recruited Hakeem, a guy like Kevin Johnson, to play with him and Pippen, and would have made a super team, and he would have been like 9-0. There's just no way to tell, because even in 2012, right? 2012, I think it was the Eastern Conference Finals. LeBron in the Heat with that amazing big three. LeBron was about 27. D-Wade was 30. I think Bosh was 29. They played the wicked old Big Three Celtics, who won in 08. And that was 4 years later. Each of them were above 34 or under 36. And the Celtics took them to 7, which is crazy to me. I mean, you gotta think that's prime LeBron James. That's supposed to be prime LeBron James. That's his 9th season in the league. That's when people are supposed to, show what they're made of. Not to mention, I don't think there was ever a time in Jordan's career where you could say he had a player that might be better than him at that time. Like, I mean, look at right now, the Lakers. You could argue that Anthony Davis is a more deserving player for MVP than LeBron, more deserving player for Finals MVP. It's just crazy that you could even make that argument for somebody who's supposed to be the GOAT. And I'm not going to bring in Finals MVPs for account, even though that would actually hinder LeBron even more, because I feel like Finals MVPs don't really show who the better player is anymore. I mean, look at Curry. He's the second greatest point guard of all time, in my opinion, best shooter of all time, and has no Finals MVPs, which is pretty crazy to me, actually. I feel like he deserved it. If we're talking most complete all-around basketball player of all time, I'm saying LeBron is a better all-around basketball player, but we're saying the best NBA player who makes their teammates better, who's going to show up in these clutch moments, who's going to use their talent to the best of their ability, is Michael Jordan, in my opinion. I don't think LeBron can pass him at this point in his career, being with his Finals record, with all of that accounted to, with everything that I've just stated. I don't think LeBron has a chance in passing him anymore. So yeah, bro, that kind of concludes my reasoning for why I feel Michael Jordan's overall better than LeBron as a basketball player, as a GOAT. I mean, I just don't think LeBron has that chance anymore. I mean, I hope you enjoyed. This is my first video, my first ever video with this type of commentary, shit like that. So let me know in the comments how I could improve. I appreciate everybody who watched.